this video lesson, we'll discuss the political organization after the war, including the Articles of Confederation, the present-day Constitution, and the basic political organization of the country. By July 4th, 1776, Americans had declared independence. The new republic now had to build a working country and earn international recognition. Tasks that require, in any era, a defined territory, a permanent population with clear rules for citizenship and residency, a functioning government, and the capacity to conduct relations with other sovereign states. Those were the benchmarks the United States set out to meet in the first decades after independence. Independence did not instantly secure control of the continent. A glance at post-1783 realities shows British and Spanish influence lingering on American soil, especially west of the Appalachians. Only with the Louisiana Purchase in 1803 did foreign influence recede from the east bank of the Mississippi, while much of Florida remained Spanish until 1819. In diplomacy and trade, Britain refused a commercial treaty, kept navigation laws intact, and closed British and West Indian ports to American ships. Spain, controlling the Mississippi, shut the river to U.S. commerce in 1784, threatening to choke the Western economy. An economic downturn in the mid-1780s compounded the strain. Interest on the public debt piled up. Several states printed paper money that rapidly depreciated, and inflation ruined many citizens. Ironically, these pressures both harmed the infant nation and galvanized support for stronger federal structures. Many Americans, having just cast off a king, distrusted a strong central government. Divisions over slavery also threatened unity. The First Continental Congress in 1774 urged an end to the importation of enslaved people, a call many northern states heeded, though no state south of Pennsylvania abolished slavery at that time. Even basic political rights varied. New Jersey's 1776 Constitution enfranchised all inhabitants, meeting property and residence requirements, which in practice meant some unmarried women voted, since married women generally could not own property in their own name. Since 1776, the former colonies drafted state constitutions, often adapting their colonial charters. Most included bills of rights, required frequent elections, and deliberately limited executive and judicial power. In structure, states typically had a governor and a bicameral legislature, upper and lower houses, with voting restricted to men meeting property and income thresholds. Western settlers gained better representation than before, though Eastern interests still held an edge. These arrangements rested on familiar legal ground. English common law, judge-made law, shaped most state systems, though some colonies had experimented with simple legal codes earlier. After independence, all 13 original states adopted common law foundations, with Louisiana retaining a civil law tradition from its French past. The Second Continental Congress approved the Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union on November 15, 1777, sending them to the states. They took effect on March 1, 1781, when all 13 states had ratified. The Articles created a loose league of sovereign states with a single-chamber Congress and no executive or federal judiciary. Congress was intentionally weak. Each state had one vote. Major measures needed 9 states. Amendments required unanimity. Congress could not regulate commerce, levy or enforce taxes, or act directly on individuals, and courts remained largely state-run. This Articles of Confusion, as critics quipped, proved inadequate, especially as economic and diplomatic chaos peaked, pushing Americans toward a stronger national framework. These are some of the consequences of such a weak legal text. A first attempt to fix things at Annapolis faltered. Only 5 states sent delegates. In Philadelphia in the summer of 1787, delegates from 12 states convened to remodel the Articles, but soon undertook to replace them. Two visions collided: a federal union, a loose association of essentially independent states, and a national union, a stronger union with genuine national authority. The core fight was representation. The Virginia plan favored two houses apportioned by population, backed by large states. The New Jersey plan proposed one house with equal state votes, backed by small states. The Connecticut Compromise blended both, a House of Representatives proportional to population and a Senate with 2 seats per state. The new Congress gained power to tax, regulate commerce, raise armies, make war, and conduct foreign affairs. Residual powers remained with the states to regulate daily life. A pivotal innovation was the president, a separate executive, complementing a national judiciary and legislature in a system of separated powers and checks and balances. Winning approval required a full court Federalist effort. Ratification proceeded as follows. Delaware went first, then Pennsylvania and New Jersey in 1787. In 1788, Georgia, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, South Carolina, and New Hampshire, followed by Virginia and New York. North Carolina and Rhode Island were the last ones in 1789 and 1790. Several states ratified on the promise that a Bill of Rights would be added to protect individual liberties. The new federal government began operating in 1789. The first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights, soon followed. What changed when the Constitution replaced the Articles of Confederation? The Constitution restored the colonial tradition of 3 branches, legislative, executive, and judicial, at the national level. In the House, seats are proportional to population. In the Senate, each state has 2, the Great or Connecticut Compromise. The 3/5 Compromise counted 3/5 of enslaved people for representation, and by extension for the Electoral College, temporarily augmenting slave state power. The Constitution entrenched federalism, some powers delegated to the national government, most reserved to the states, and a hierarchy of law placing the federal Constitution at the top. Article 3 established an independent federal judiciary. The Judiciary Act of 1789 organized federal courts to interpret and apply federal law and constitutions. Checks and balances dispersed authority, life-tenured federal judges, senators originally chosen by state legislatures, representatives elected directly by the people. The presidency, constrained by Congress and the courts, is chosen indirectly by the Electoral College. Congress may regulate trade, levy taxes, and enforce national laws, strengthening national governance. The Charter rests on Republican principles. Legitimate government derives from the consent of the governed. Amendments require national and state participation, proposals by 2/3 of Congress, or a convention called by 2/3 of the states, and ratification by 3/4 of state legislatures or conventions. Every U.S. state mirrors the federal model with its own executive, legislative, and judicial branches, and its own written constitution. In the executive, a governor is directly elected in every state. Many states also have a lieutenant governor, an attorney general, and a secretary of state, though the exact titles and methods of selection can vary. In the legislatures, the rule is bicameral, an upper chamber, the Senate, and a lower chamber, the House or Assembly, except in Nebraska, which uniquely has a unicameral nonpartisan legislature. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.